In this lesson, you'll learn how to play leader of the band using two beautiful fingerpicking patterns as well as some intermediate options. I'll be using my tenor with low G tuning throughout the lesson, but feel free to follow along with high G tuning as well. Now let's begin by looking at how to play the chords in this song. We'll start with our G chord. For G, we have our index and middle fingers on the second fret of strings 3 and 1, and our ring finger on the third fret of the second string. Next we have C, third fret of the first string. Now here you can use either your pinky or your ring finger, and you may find it easier to use your pinky going back and forth between C and G. Next we have B minor. This is a bar chord, so we have our index finger covering the second fret across all 4 strings, and also our ring finger on the 4th fret of the 4th string. If you'd like, you can also use your middle finger against your index finger for more support. Next we have A minor. This is the second fret of the 4th string, and depending on our chord transitions, we may want to use our index finger or middle finger to play this chord. Next we have E minor. For E minor, we have our index finger on the second fret of the first string, middle finger on the third fret of the second string, and ring finger on the 4th fret of the third string. Next we have D. For D, we have our index, middle, and ring fingers covering the second fret of strings 4, 3, and 2. Then to go from D to D7, we'll maintain this chord shape and add our pinky to the third fret of the first string. Now a couple other options for D7. Another chord shape that we can use is a bar chord, so we can use our index finger to bar all 4 strings across the second fret, and then use our ring finger or middle finger on the third fret of the first string. Now for an easier version of D7, we can use the Hawaiian chord shape, which is the second fret of strings 4 and 2, and here we'll use our index finger and middle finger. And then our final chord is F. For F, we have our middle finger on the second fret of the 4th string and our index finger on the first fret of the second string. Now a couple of tips on A minor. In this song, when we transition from A minor to D7, I recommend using your index finger for A minor. This makes it easier to keep your index finger in place, moving from A minor to our D7 chord shape, also moving from A minor to the second chord shape option for D7, which was the bar chord that we looked at, and even for the third, easier option for D7, moving from A minor to the Hawaiian version of D7. Now when we move from A minor to F in this song, I recommend using your middle finger for A minor. This way you can keep your middle finger in place on the 4th string and add your index finger to the second string going to F. I also want to give you a second chord shape option for our D chord. And this is to use our middle finger, ring finger, and pinky. So in the chorus, we'll move from A minor to F to D, keeping our middle finger in place for all 3 chords. Next, we'll look at our 2 fingerpicking patterns, as well as some intermediate options. We'll use pattern 1 on chords that are held for 2 beats, and pattern 2 on chords that are held for 4 beats. For both of our patterns, we're going to use our thumb, index finger, middle finger, and ring finger on strings 4 down to 1. Here's how pattern 1 sounds at a slow tempo on a C chord. tempo. 1, 2, 1, 2. To pick this pattern, we'll start with the 4th string, then the 3rd string, and then we'll pick strings 1 and 2 together. Here's how pattern 1 sounds with high G tuning. 1, 2, 1, 2. Pattern 2 covers 4 beats. Here's how this pattern sounds at a slow tempo on a C chord. 1 at a faster tempo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. To pick this pattern, we'll start on the 2nd string, then strings 4 down to 1, then back to the 4th string, and we'll finish on the 3rd string. Here's how pattern 2 sounds with high G tuning. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I've used 3 types of notation for the chords in this song. The chords in bold are held for 2 beats, and for these chords we'll play pattern 1. The chords in standard font are held for 4 beats, and for these chords we'll play pattern 2. Now the chords that are underlined are also held for 2 beats, and for these chords we're going to pick all 4 strings together. So let's walk through how to play verse 1. In line 1 we start on a G chord with pattern 1, then pattern 1 on C, then back to G, switching to pattern 2, then we go to B minor, still on pattern 2, and then we finish line 1 with a C chord on pattern 2. In line 2 we go to A minor, then to E minor, then back to A minor in line 3. Then for our C chord that's underlined, we'll pick all 4 strings together, and then we'll pick all 4 strings on D. Now let's count the rhythm of lines 1, 2, and 3 at a slow tempo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Line 4 is played the same way as line 1. And then in line 5, we'll go to A minor with pattern 2, then to E minor, and now we'll pick all 4 strings on A minor, and then all 4 strings on D7. Now for all of the G and C chords in bold, we'll play pattern 1, just like we did at the beginning of line 1. And when we get to the final G chord at the end of line 5, we'll play pattern 2. Now let's count the rhythm of lines 4 and 5 of the first verse at a slow tempo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, intermediate fingerstyle option for the G and C chords that appear in bold. So to review, the first option that we covered, the easier option, is to use pattern 1 on the chords in bold. Now here's how the same section sounds using this intermediate fingerstyle option. So for each pair of G and C chords, here's how this sounds at a slow tempo. The rhythm here is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. We'll play this by starting on our G chord. We'll pick strings 1, 2, and 3 together. Then we'll place our pinky on the 4th fret of the 4th string. Then we're going to pick the open 3rd string, then the 2nd string, back to the open 3rd string, and then we'll finish with the open 4th string. Then to repeat that, we'll place our index finger back down to go back to our G chord on strings 1, 2, and 3. If you're enjoying this lesson, please show my channel some love by giving this video a thumbs up. And if you're new here, then welcome. I'm Lara. I'm a musician and a composer, and I love to teach song tutorials and fingerstyle arrangements for all levels. If you'd like to support my teaching and my channel by joining my Patreon community, you'll gain access to hundreds of downloads, including song sheets, fingerstyle tabs, and song books. The link is down below in the video description. Now let's take a look at the chorus. In lines 1 and 2, we'll use pattern 2 on each chord until we get to the F and D chords that are underlined at the end of line 2. For these chords, we'll pick all 4 strings together. Here's how we count lines 1 and 2 at a slow tempo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now keep in mind that for the second A minor chord in line 2, you want to use your middle finger for this chord so that it's easier to transition from A minor to F to D. Now let's count the rhythm of lines 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you'd like to use the intermediate fingerstyle option for the G and C chords in bold, here's how we count the end of line 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Next we'll walk through how to play the fingerstyle interlude step by step, as well as the fingerstyle outro at the end of the song, which is a shorter version of the interlude. We begin measure 1 with an arpeggio through all 4 strings. We have our index finger on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string, middle finger on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string, and pinky on the 5th fret of the 1st string. Then at the end of measure 1, we'll go up to the 7th fret of the 1st string with our pinky, And then moving into measure 2 down to the 5th fret with our ring finger, then down to the 3rd fret with our middle finger, and the 2nd fret with our index finger. In measure 3, we'll place our middle finger back down on the 3rd fret to play a C chord. In measure 4, we'll go to the 5th fret with our ring finger, then the 7th fret with our pinky, then back to the 5th fret, and then down to the 3rd fret with our middle finger, and 2nd fret with our index finger. In measure 5, we'll go back to the 7th fret of the 1st string with our pinky, picking strings 1, 2, and 3 together. Then we'll go down to the 3rd fret of the 1st string with our index finger. And in measure 6, we'll place our pinky on the 5th fret of the 1st string, our index finger on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string, and our middle finger on the 4th fret of the 3rd string. We'll pick strings 1, 2, and 3, and then we'll use our index finger on the 2nd fret of the 1st string. In measure 7, we'll place our index and middle fingers on the 2nd fret of strings 3 and 2, and our ring finger on the 3rd fret of the 1st string. Then we'll pick the open 1st string. Now for measures 8, 9, and 10, here we're essentially playing the same fingerstyle option that we used in place of the G and C chords in bold. The only difference is that the very first note in measure 8, instead of strings 1, 2, and 3, we're only picking the 2nd string here. So after the 2nd string, we'll go into the same fingerstyle option that we covered earlier. Then in measure 11, on our G chord, we'll pick all 4 strings together. Now let's count the rhythm of the interlude at a slow tempo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now the fingerstyle outro to end the song is played the same way as the interlude in measures 1 through 7. Then we'll end on measure 8 on a partial G chord, picking strings 2, 3, and 4 together. Next up is our play along, where you can play and sing along with me for the entire song. I'll be using both patterns 1 and 2, just as we've covered in this lesson, as well as the intermediate fingerstyle options. 5, 6, 7, 8.
Solitary way, and he gave to me a gift I know I never can repay. A quiet man of music denied a simpler fate. He tried to be a soldier once, but his music wouldn't wait. He earned his love through discipline, a thundering velvet hand. souls took me years to understand. The leader of the band is tired and his eyes are growing old, but his blood runs through my instrument and his song is in my soul. My life has been a poor attempt to imitate the man. Oh, I'm just a living legacy to the leader of the band. My brothers' lives were different, for they heard another call. One went to Chicago and the other to St. Paul. And I'm in Colorado when I'm not in some hotel, living out this life I've chose and come to know so well. Thank you for the music and your stories of the road. I thank you for the freedom when it came my time to go. I thank you for your kindness and the times when you got tough. And Papa, I don't think I said I love you near enough. The leader of the band is tired and his eyes are growing old, but his blood runs through my instrument and his song is in my soul. My life has been a poor attempt to imitate the man. Oh, I'm just a living legacy to the leader of the band. I am a living legacy to the leader of the band.
I hope you've enjoyed learning leader of the band using these beautiful patterns and fingerstyle options. Have fun practicing, and thanks for watching.